Assalamualaikum and good morning to lecturers and everyone. Today we're going to present regarding the exploring for IR on SDG. My name is Izzuddin Haris and here's our my group member, Wafi Iskandar, Farhana Japar, Wafi Rushaidi, and Abishar Lidism. So moving on to the next slide. Here are the table of content, will be introduction, analysis, discussion, and conclusion as well. Moving into the introduction, what are FOI-IR and SDG? So, Fourth Industrial Revolution, or IR 4.0, as briefly described by Lopez et al. 2018, is that it represents a new and powerful industrial wave focused on digital, virtual, and customer service technology. So, the plan strategy is aimed to increasing the efficiency, productivity, transparency, and also safety in the industry. Moving on. Another definition of IR 4.0 by Schumacher, Earls, and Sheen is it the revolution of the industry embalmed with the advanced technology in internet to serve as a backbone in the integration of humans, physical object, intelligent machine, product lines, and product process across organizational boundary to the form of new intelligent network and allied value change. Hence, the fourth industrial revolution is about more than just a technology driven changes. It's an opportunity to help everyone from all income group and nation to harness coverage technology in order to create an inclusive human centered future. Next slide. uh, it also found that the development of physical, digital, and biological technology are the three fundamental technological driver for IR 4.0. Under physical technology are the autonomous vehicle, 3D printing, advanced robotics, and new materials. Next, nearly all the innovation and advance coming with IR 4.0 are made possibly and enhanced through digital power that are mainly manifest in four aspects, namely IoT, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, and cloud computing, and also digital platform. As biological technology, major breakthrough of biotechnological development that driven the fourth industrial revolution are centered around genetic technology and neurotechnology. I'll pass this slide to Wafi.
Hello everyone, my name is Wafi and I'll be presenting about the Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs. The SDG is also known as the Global Goals. It is adopted by the United Nations in 2015 as a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030 all people enjoy peace and prosperity. Next slide. So this is the 17 goals figure. Which includes number one is no poverty, second is zero hunger, third good health, and then quality education, gender equality, clean water, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure. Number 10 is reduce inequalities. 11 is sustainable cities and communities. The next one is responsible consumption and production. 13 is climate action. 14 is life below water. 15 life on land. And 16 peace, justice, and strong institutions. And the final one is the partnerships for the goals. So those are the 17 SDGs. Uh, Next one. Okay.
Hello again. So moving on to the analysis on how are these 4IR application applies to SDG. So the first component is big data. Big data is combination of structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data collected by organization that can be mined to inform and use in machine learning project, predictive modeling, and also advanced analytical application. With big data, it can help achieve the SDG by providing vital information on public service, government operation, natural resource, and demographics of the people in which it can help and shape objective and identify the best course of action for pressing national issues. Slide. In this slide, here's the example of each of UN Sustainable Development Goals, showing how big data could be used to help to achieve the SDG. For example, um, you see the slide, zero hunger, as crowdsourcing or tracking food price listed online can help monitor food security in near real time. Clean water and sanitation, as sensor connect to water pump can track access to the water clean. The third one is industry innovation and infrastructure. Data from GPS device can be used for traffic control and to improve public transport, and so on. Moving on. Here's are the potential risks in using the big data. One is breach of privacy because big data is the product of unique pattern of behavior of individual. Removal of explicit personal information may not fully protect the privacy. Second point is misuse and mishandling of data. Uh, Combining multiple data set may lead to identification of the individual of group or individuals, subjecting them to potentially harm for the big data. And there's a possible rise in equity and possibility of bias as well. That's all for me. I'll pass this slide to Wafi. I'm sorry, Farhana. Your mic.
Oh no. Okay. Thank you, Jillian. Hello, everyone. I'm Farhana. Uh, I will explain the metaverse's roles in achieving SDGs. So, some of you might be asking, what is metaverse? In simple terms, the metaverse is a digital space or a parallel world of the actual physical world. So, imagine the real world, but online. So, what's the role of the metaverse in achieving SDGs? It provides an ideal environment where all sustainability goals can be assessed early and problems can be fixed before they happen. So this is an example of how metaverse can contribute to SDGs, building cities in the metaverse. So for example, city planners might want to know what it's like to build a city in an empty land. So for this, they can build cities in the metaverse to track and assess the environmental impact of building a city. And they can also analyze what kind of roads needs to be made, where and how much resources are needed. These are some of the potential benefits and challenges of the metaverse in achieving SDGs. Some of the benefits are it opens up possibilities for sustainable living because it allows users the ability to access information from different fields using one platform. It also allows VR meetings. So imagine Zoom calls, but better, sitting in a digital space where you can see each other's avatars. So people from different regions or locations, as we are right now, can have access to the same meeting platform at the same digital space. And also, it serves as an effective tool because metaverse users are able to access information that might be difficult to obtain. So, for example, people can experience firsthand what it's like for people that have lived in poverty. And for the challenges, it is only accessible for privileged and wealthy people that have access to electricity and strong Wi-Fi connection. And it may hinder sustainability because it increases the energy consumed by cloud computing data centers. And lastly, it increases energy consumption because it might use innovative and advanced technology, which will result in more obsolete phones and laptops being dumped in landfills. So this is an example of the VR meetings that I mentioned earlier, which was created by Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Meta. Oh, that's all for me. I will now pass the floor to Abi.
Okay, thank you, Farah. So, hello everyone. My name is Abi Shahrizam. So, I will continue on the next part on artificial intelligence. So, artificial intelligence is an algorithm developed by computer scientists that are capable of executing tasks that typically require human intelligence and beyond. For example, visual perception, speech recognition, and decision making. So AI is a major force behind the fourth industrial revolution. Its impact can be felt in private residences, commercial buildings, educational institutions, and even public areas, paving the way for improvements in energy conservation, autonomous vehicles, and even the care of the young and elderly. So while AI has the ability to address some of the most pressing societal problems, it also comes with risks, including the potential for job displacement, unethical data use, and inaccessible black box algorithms. So how can AI help in sustainability? AI techniques can help to correct biases in models, extract the most relevant data to avoid data degradation, predict extreme events, and it can be used for impacts modeling. Next. So here are the role of artificial intelligence in achieving the standard development goals. So the current capabilities of AI could help solve cases across all the 17 of the UN SDGs, eventually benefiting hundreds of millions of people in both advanced and developing countries. So for the first one is the environmental protection. AI-powered technologies can be used to create automated processes that collect remote sensing data about biodiversity. So this data can help to identify patterns in the species behavior and act accordingly when they notice something unusual. For second one is the AI energy solution. So the positive impact of AI can also be felt in the energy sector. It can be used to reduce energy consumption and encourage renewable and affordable energy. For example, the smart power grids have the power to coordinate the demand for electricity against multiple sources of renewable energy. However, we should be careful here too, as digital technologies are rising, so is the demand for ICT solutions. So the growing production of ICT solutions therefore increases the electricity usage, which goes against the established goal. For the third one is the addressing health issues. So humans error are a major issues when it comes to healthcare. Incomplete medical record and massive patient slot can lead to human mistakes that are fatal. So AI can anticipate and detect illness at a higher pace than most medical practitioners. Example of using AI for health is wearable devices that have the ability to detect early symptoms of diabetes using heart rate sensor data. And the fourth one is improve improve agriculture and fight hunger. So according to the UN, United Nations, in order to feed the population of the world by 2050, they would need to raise the world's food supply by 70s. Since time is important, AI programs can be deployed to speed up the exploration of potential solutions. So the aim is for the food production to become smarter and more cost effective. It's also used to classify places at heightened risk of food shortages, drought, and floods, rising food costs, and also soil degradation. And the fifth one is to improve infrastructure management. So improvements related to infrastructure could deliver public goods in the areas such as transportation. So in order to increase vehicle throughput, for instance, traffic light system can be configured using real-time traffic camera data and Internet of Things sensors. So in order to recognize presumably malfunctioning elements, AI could also be for condition monitoring of public transport systems such as railways, public infrastructure, including bridges. And for the last one is increase equality and emotion. AI in automating the detection of emotions to provide social signals to help people communicate in social settings along the autism spectrum. Another example is the introduction of an alternate method of identity authentication, such as driver license for persons without conventional means of ID. For the next part, I will pass to Wafi Iskandar. Thank you.
Hello. Okay, I'll be presenting about the Internet of Things again, which is IoT. Okay, the term Internet of Things refers to the collective network of connected devices and the technology that facilitates communications between devices and the cloud, as well as between the devices themselves. The Internet of Things integrates everyday things with the internet. Um, IoT has three components. Those components are smart devices, IoT application, and graphical user interface. For smart devices, this is a device like a television, security camera, or exercise equipment that has been given computing capabilities. It collects data from its environment, users' input or usage, patterns and communications, data over the internet to and from its IoT application. IoT application is a collection of services and software that integrates data received from various IoT devices. It uses machine learning or AI technology to analyze this data and make informed decisions. These decisions are communicated back to the IoT device, and the IoT device then responds intelligently to inputs. As for graphical user interface, the IoT device or fleet or device of devices can be managed through a graphical user interface. Common examples for this is mobile applications or website that can be used to register and control smart devices. Next. Um, for this slide, I'll be talking about how IoT helps to achieve sustainable development goals. There are 17, but I'll be explaining four of them. So for the first one is the quality education, which is finding patterns that influence student performance in particular topics, providing learning statistics and monitoring were all done using the IoT. For the second one is the agriculture. Humidity sensors and environmental data help farmers know where and when they should irrigate. For the third one is the water use. IoT can boost water efficiency by collecting real-time data. IoT can help to reduce water consumption through environmental data and forecast and humidity sensors. As for the final one is zero hunger, enables farmers to reduce waste and increase productivity. Sensors can be used to monitor weather, soil, and crop conditions in real time. Okay, I'll pass this presentation to the next person.
So, hi, my name is Wafi, and for my part of the slide, I'll be explaining about virtual reality and augmented reality. So, what are the differences between augmented and virtual reality? So, basically, augmented reality is described as technology that allows you to manifest digital objects into the real world and interact with it. So, like for example, as all you might heard of Pokemon Go, which is like integrating a digital pocket monster into the real world, and you'll be able to catch it as if you're catching it physically. And for virtual reality, it's the technology where, uh, with the aid of hardware such as VR goggles, it is used to make images and sounds to immerse and stimulate the user's senses and interact with it. So they'll use your sight and sound to basically transport you into, for example, the metaverse. Um, Next slide. So how can VR and AR help in the SDG? So here are four examples of how it can help achieve the SDGs. So in terms of quality education with VR, as it is more immersive, it can help students learn better by through experience. For example, students who study history can essentially travel back in time and interact with the environments themselves and better learn it from experience. In terms of good health and well-being with VR and AR, uh, medical medical staff can properly be trained, as they can use hands-on. They can basically hands-on train without the risk, and as well as aiding in treating mental health, where it can provide uh, environments where people can, with mental health, be more stable. For example, through meditation, which helps calm them down. And then, in terms of equality, with the aid of the metaverse, people can build a community as whoever they want. So basically, as Farah mentioned before, people can go into the metaverse in the form of avatars, so they can interact with whoever they want, as whoever they want, also as whatever they want, in fact, without actual risk for them in real life. So in terms of industry innovation and infrastructure, industries can use VR as well as AR in many innovative ways, ranging from production to retail. Production in terms of, for example, a car retailer um, can make an engine without physically making an engine and know the consequence before physically making an engine, before knowing to know the consequences and save costs for the company. And in terms of retail, people can use VR to virtually shop as if they're in a real mall and like shop for the items and have it delivered into their houses. So next slide. Here are some examples of in real life usage of VR and AR. So Victory, for example, Victory XR, in terms of education, it's a fully virtual reality academy where people can attend virtually, and the staff are all trained in all the virtual. It's a virtual college in the metaverse. In term, so next image is people meditating as well as practicing their medical skills with virtual reality without the risks, and an example of a community where people are in their avatar forms instead of in their real forms, and then how people use AR as a tool for production. Next slide, I'll be passing it to the next presenter.
Farah, you're
I guess.
muted.
All right. Thank you, Wafi. Hello, everyone, again. I will now discuss the role of SIS in achieving SDGs. So SIS, or Strategic Information System, is an information system that helps to create opportunities and establish competitive advantages. So the United Nations and International Telecommunication Union recognize the importance of IS as it is the core of every organization nowadays. Information is a very important resource in our society because it is very valuable. And SIS plays an important role in gathering, storing, analyzing, and making use of all of this information. So now the question arises, how can IS help to achieve SDGs? So information system makes it possible for organizations to achieve their goals and use data more efficiently and effectively. So for example, UN's 2015 Millennium Development Goals, or MDGs, was only possible with the help of CBIS, which helped in collecting, storing, and analyzing the data to extract relevant information about the MDGs initiative until 2015. So what is CBIS? It is a combination of three main components made up of technology, which is the most important. CBIS would not be possible without this. And the second is people, which the success of an organization relies on people managing, running, programming, and maintaining the prospective information system. And lastly, processes, which are steps taken to reach end goal. So with this, processes are the main concerns of organizations that requires people's decisions on some steps in order to be successful. With the technology's contribution, it is possible to get things done faster, cheaper, and make better use of the resources and make it easier to adapt to change. So that is all for me. I will now pass the floor to Wafi.
So in conclusion, the 4IR has paved ways for new and innovative technologies to emerge. And through these technologies, they can be seen they're in check with the SDGs and can help in developing the SDGs. However, there are still some challenges and limitations faced that needs to be improved in order for the SDGs to be achieved. That's all from us. Thank you.